Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I'm gonna make a shadow box that lights up. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. I actually mentioned it, I think, as just like an offhanded comment during another tutorial video I have on the shadow box. And I figure I should follow through with that idea because the holidays are such a perfect time to make some extra special cards. With the help of Pear Blossom Press lights, you can easily make cards light up, gifts light up, home decor, things like ornaments for trees or just to decorate around the house. The lights are just so easy to use, and I just think that for the holidays, it's nice to kind of go a little bit extra, especially for my holiday cards. I do like to make what I call mantle worthy cards. So I always joke that on anyone's mantle, if they have one, there's limited space, and a lot of people, myself included, like to put cards up on their mantle throughout the holidays, as they're getting them, and there's only so much room to fit so many cards. And I always feel like if your card is a little bit extra special, then you're more likely to make it onto somebody's coveted mantle. So light up cards, I think, are the perfect way to get yourself onto your family and friends mantle this holiday season. So I am actually part of a collaboration hop with my fellow design teammates and special guests with Pear Blossom Press. This is our Light Up the Holidays collaboration hop. So more on that later, but there is a giveaway if you hop along. So do continue watching. I'll tell you all about how to win some $25 gift certificate to shop at Pear Blossom Press so that you can light up your holidays this holiday season too. So I'm not going to go into super depth about how to create the shadow box because I have several tutorial videos on my channel already. So I'll link to one of those in the upper right hand corner, and then that way you can get I think I even have one that's in real time, so you can get more in-depth tutorial on that specifically. But one of the things that I'm doing is with this one is I'm going to make it light up. So that's one. But I'm going to make it light up in such a way that the Pear Blossom Press battery, like the mechanism for where you put the battery in and where you turn the lights on and off, it's all on a single sort of chipboard unit, and I'm gonna install it in such a way that you'll have access to it, so that you can, one, easily turn it on and off, but two, you can actually change out the batteries, so that this shadow box becomes something that you can create that is maybe like a home decor item that you would put away when the season's over, pack it up, and then bring it back out next season. And so while it's in storage, you might want to take the battery out so that it's not draining, and then you can always put fresh batteries in when it comes time next year to bring it out and put it on display again. And I'm using this really fun, I keep crafting with the Hero Arts October card making kit because I just love this disco theme. I'm not really old enough to have enjoyed the disco era, but I still really love using it as a theme for my card making, and I've really enjoyed crafting with the kit components. And so when I saw it, I just thought I really have to light up those disco balls. So I'm using the Pear Blossom Press Twinkle lights. Now, the Twinkle lights and the Easy lights are two different products that are available at Pear Blossom Press. They both have three LED lights that are all connected to a single on-off button. They differ in a couple ways. The Easy lights, I feel, have like a more warm tone light to them, like a warm white, versus the Twinkle lights, I feel, are more of a cool white in terms of the light that emanates from it. And then second, more notably, is that with the Easy lights, when you push the button, all three lights come on at the same time. When you release the button, all three lights turn off. With the Twinkle lights, when you push the button, one to 1 to 3 of them, 1 to 3 of the lights will turn on, and then they flicker. They kind of stagger on and off. And it's going to be a little bit different each time you turn it on. So the pattern, maybe you'll see one that's on or just 2 on at the same time, but they're going to blink on and off. When you release the button, they all turn off. So the lights will continue to blink so long as you have the button pressed. And like I said, it's all going to be a little bit random every time you push the button. So sometimes you might see, like I said, just one light on at the same time. Sometimes you might see 2 flicker on and off at the same time. So it really just depends. It's something a little bit different each time, which I think is perfect for a disco themed shadow box. Now I'm making mine disco theme, but imagine all of the other fun things that you could do with a project like this that would be really fun, commemorative gift or for yourself to put on display in your home. Imagine lighting up maybe a family photo. I think that would be a lot of fun. This could be maybe a family project. If you have kids, you could create a little Christmas scene and make it a little bit of a fun project that you create together. And that would be a really fun activity that is something that you can share, and also have this as something to commemorate that memory of that moment of crafting together with your family, with your kids. This would be a really great way to, if it is a family photo, it might be a great gift to give to, say, grandparents or other family members, where it's not just a photo that, is part of their card. Nothing wrong with those, but this could be something just a little bit extra special that they could put on display. And if it lights up, it's even more special as something that's interactive. And I like creating this so that you can change out the batteries, and then that way, if somebody it's especially if you make it super special, they're gonna want to keep it. And they're going to want to bring it out each year. And so you want the lights to continue to work. Okay, so here's the fun part. Now, I didn't go too much into the actual shadow box because I have other tutorials on that. I just wanted to show how it's made. And if you've seen other shadow box tutorials, maybe that's enough of a refresher. I've made this custom size. So I started with 12 by 12 sheet of black cardstock from the 12 by 12 cardstock shop. This glitter card is also from 12 by 12 cardstock shop, and I cut it down to about 7.5 by 7.5, because whatever size cardstock you start with, you're gonna lose 5 inches of it to the walls, that get formed to create the box. So this ends up being 7 by 7 is the visible area inside. I used my big bite so that I could punch a 1/8 inch hole through the back of my shadow box, and I'm gonna just temporarily tape my the battery mechanism to the back. That single hole through the back of the shadow box, that is what's going to make it so that we have access to the battery later and the button to turn the lights on and off. And so what I'm going to do is I want the lights to come through to the front of this glitter cardstock. And because this glitter cardstock is really great quality, it's actually super thick. Not too much light is actually going to emanate through unless the light comes through to the front. So I've done a little bit of a dry fit just to figure out where I want to put my large disco ball and these smaller disco balls, which they're actually, I made 2. I did some silver holographic embossing onto holographic paper, and I did a second set that's embossed onto vellum. I actually end up using the vellum because it's going to allow more light to shine through the ball, as opposed to the holographic paper, which is more solid and opaque. And if you used it, then you would really make it look more like it's glowing, on the outer edges as opposed to lighting up. So I marked and I'm poking holes that are large enough for me to fit the entire LED. Like I'm fitting the entire LED through to the front. And that way, all of that light can shine through. And that's how it's going to look when you turn it on. So it's kind of fun. So I'm going to do another little dry fit just to make sure everything kind of looks the way that I want it to look. And you can see when you, it kind of looks like all the lights are coming on and off at the same time, but that's only because my video is sped up. So at the end, I'll show you, it does blink more than it would suggest right now in the video. But now that everything is positioned where I want it, I can actually adhere down and actually form my shadow box. So I want this glitter panel to go down first because I actually cut it slightly larger than what is visible. So this panel, remember, I cut to 7.5, but you can only see 7 inches of it. And that's because I want to make sure that it goes, clear to the edges. I don't want any gaps at all. And it's kind of tough because like all the wiring is sort of tethering, the box and this panel together. But that's one of the reasons why I want to just form my box and get all of these pieces glued down so that it's a little bit more easy and manageable to handle. For adhesives, I like to use a double-sided dry adhesive tape as close to the outer edges as possible so that I can get adhesive all the way to those edges. But I always like to use liquid adhesive on projects, especially that I want to stand the test of time, because a liquid adhesive is going to be permanent. Whereas a dry adhesive, it can, and especially in climates that are more humid, it can actually dry out and lose its stick over time. So even though on the shadow box glue tabs, I put double-sided dry adhesive basically, on the entire tab, I'm still gonna put a line of liquid adhesive because that will help it to be permanent. And the double-sided dry adhesive just lets me have adhesive all the way out to the edges, and it's gonna be a quicker grab too. And then that way, once it's down and it's stuck, it's less likely to move around. And that just lets me continue kind of constructing my project without having to worry about it shifting around on me. If I only use liquid adhesive, it is nice that it lets you have that little bit of time to nudge things around a little bit, but it does take some time to dry. So you might not be able to move on to the next step until you're really certain that it is well stuck. So like these corners, I only use liquid adhesive. So I kind of have to hold it here until I know it's grabbed and it's not going to move on me. So that's why I like the combination of a dry adhesive and a liquid adhesive. You get the benefit of that quick grab of the dry adhesive, but you get the permanence of a liquid adhesive as well. Okay, so with the shadow box formed, my lights are installed. I am going to create a display stand, like a little kickstand. I did this in a separate video as well. And so I have another, I think that video is probably a slower tutorial also, but I'll talk you through it in this one as well, because my little kickstand or display stand is also going to double. I'm going to put a pocket in there so that it's a little bit of a holder for the battery on the Pear Blossom Press light. So this bit of cardstock here measures 11 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. So I'm gonna score this at 3/8 of an inch. That's going to be my glue tab. And then I'm going to score 1 inch away from that. And basically this is going to be sort of like one of those A boards almost, where you just have this folded 1 inch edge. And then I'm going to score 1 inch on the opposite. So rotate 180, score 1 inch. And now whatever is left, score that in half. So what is left is just I think a little bit, it's not quite 4 1/4. It might be like just a smidge more than that. But wherever it lands, just score it in half. And this is where like a lot of what I do is just sort of by like to measure to fit really. And so once you have that, it should measure, I think this ultimately does measure just when it's all folded, just over 4 1/4. And so once you have that, it's going to go right back here, but we need like a little bit of a pocket so that the Pear Blossom Press battery holder, it's not just dangling, because we don't want that sort of stress on the wiring. You want to put it into a pocket of sorts so that it is safe, secure, it's not putting extra stress on the wires, and it's more hidden also is another reason to make a pocket for it. So this little piece here is 2.5 wide, and I'll actually cut it down, but what I end up doing is just scoring 1/2 inch on 3 edges. And folding those over, I'll miter cut the corners so that these glue tabs, when they fold over, there's not that excess cardstock in the corner when it overlaps. And I want to measure this to fit so that it will hold my the Pear Blossom Press battery holder, but as well have a little bit of it stick out. So this ultimately ended up being about 2 1/4 tall, just shy really. And I'm gonna punch a little half circle thumb notch out of that so that it's easy to grab the battery holder and pull it out. So you can kind of see it, it just fits. It's really pretty simple. I mitered the top edge of the glue tabs as well so that you don't see that. And then while everything is flat on my display stand, I'm gonna glue my little battery holder. But I always like to do a little bit of a dry fit just so that I can make sure, you know, everything kind of looks and works the way that I expect. To install the little pocket, it's really easy. You just want to put adhesive on the glue tab. So this is my display stand. So I'm going to put a little bit of dry adhesive on this 3/8 inch glue tab here. And that's going to glue to the opposite end when we form this. But first I want to glue my pocket to it while it's nice and flat and I can still burnish aggressively. This is the little pocket. So on these 3 1/2 inch glue tabs, I want to put some double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to use a little squiggle of liquid adhesive as well. So I mentioned earlier that my video is part of a collaboration hop. This is the Light Up the Holidays Pear Blossom Press collaboration with some designers on the Pear Blossom Press team, as well as some of our featured guest designers. So if you expand the description box below, you're going to find a single playlist where all of our videos have been collected for you. So that way you can get loads of inspiration all in one place. And you can come back and revisit this playlist as many times as you would like. You can also enter for a chance to win a $25 gift voucher to shop at the Pear Blossom Press. Hopefully you'll use it to pick up some lights so that you can light up the holidays this season. But Pear Blossom Press does also sell a lot of really fun interactive supplies like shaker domes, the snap and slides, and scratch offs, things like that. There's lots of different things in the shop that you can purchase. And if to enter, all you have to do is expand the description box. There's going to be a form It'll click off. If you click on the link, it'll click onto like a form that you just fill out. Now we're also hopping on Instagram. So if you want a second chance or a second entry to the giveaway, then hop with us on Instagram as well. So just pop on over to the Pear Blossom Press Instagram profile and look for our Light Up the Holidays hop post, and just follow and hop along on Instagram. You're going to see some of our designers who don't do videos will post some project shares there as well. So lots and lots of inspiration just waiting for you. And like I said, I find the holidays are a great time to just go a little bit extra, do something a little bit fun and interactive, and the Pear Blossom Press lights really make it easy to do that. There's so many different style of lights. You can get halo lights, single one lights, the easy lights, or what I'm using today, the Twinkle lights. There's always the fun candle lights that you can blow out as well. So it just helps you to make some really fun interactive cards, home decor projects that are where you don't have to think too hard about the electronics of wiring everything. You can just be creative. So I've got my display stand complete here. And to install it, you just glue it to the back of your shadow box. And this is rather dimensional at this point. If you wanted to wait until you had this on before you made the walls of the shadow box, it might be a little bit easier to burnish, but you can always burnish it from the front. And there you have it. You've got a little pocket for your battery holder. The wires are kind of loosely sort of hanging out there. I'm okay with that. It's better that it's a little bit loose than it's too tight, because then there's no stress or strain on the wires. It makes it easy. You have enough slack there to easily pull out the lights. And if the red and blue wires bug you a little bit, you can do what I'm doing here. I'm just coloring them black. This is totally optional. You don't have to do this if it doesn't bug you, but a permanent marker, I'm using an acrylic marker here, or an acrylic paint pen, and that just helps to take a little bit of that color off. I don't know how long lasting that's going to be, but again, if you're not bothered by it, you could totally skip this step, but I just find it nice to just take some of that color off. And you could try using an alcohol marker if that's what you have as well. And if it doesn't bother you, then you can also just leave it as it is and don't mess with it. So, and then that's it for installing our lights. So it's that easy to do. So now I can just finish decorating the actual inside of the shadow box. So like I mentioned earlier, you could personalize this a lot more, make it have a family photo inside. I think a family photo would be really a fun project to put inside, and having it light up would just make it a little bit extra special. And it's something kind of neat that you can put on display. And the fact that we've made this so that the batteries can get changed out on the lights means that you can store this away and fold it down flat, because the display stand will fold down flat, and just take the battery out before you put it away for the season. That way the battery doesn't continue to drain on you, and you can always just bring it back out next year and put it on display again. So I've used the Hero Arts card kit of the month this was October's card kit of the month. I just think it's a lot of fun. It's sparkly, it's bright. Again, it's just something that's just a little bit fun to put out for the holidays, a little bit fun, interactive element. You could also make these shadow boxes, because they're meant for tabletop display because of the kickstand. You could make them as even like part of your centerpiece, or if you made smaller ones, how fun would it be to make these as like nameplates for each seat if you're having like a special event, a special meal. Maybe it's like oh, it'd be great for wedding. Like a rehearsal dinner would be really like, something small. I think a rehearsal dinner would be great. Imagine like for a wedding, if you made just a smaller version of this as like a place setting, part of the place setting for each person, and there's a photo of the couple getting married and it lights up and everything, and then that's something that they can bring home with them and have a little photo of, the soon to be married couple. And if it's just like a rehearsal dinner with just close family or the wedding party, you probably wouldn't have to make too many of them. So it makes it a project that's very, I think, doable, to not really mass produce, but produce several or handful of. Now, I did add a little sentiment to mine at the bottom off camera. Which I thought would be really cute. So it just, it's really cute. Is that it's also part of the Hero Arts card kit of the month. It's Have a Ball This Christmas. And you can see the battery holder just fits into this pocket. And with the display stand open up like that, it also makes it easy to kind of just reach your thumb behind there. And you don't even have to take the battery holder out to hold it down and turn it on. So while it's on display, you can even get access to it and turn it on. So I had a lot of fun making this. I hope it just brings you some different ideas for how you can light things up this holiday season. And again, the link to the playlist where you can find even more inspiration is in the description box below. And as well, in that description box, you're going to find the link to enter for a chance to win a $25 gift voucher to Pear Blossom Press. Thank you so much for checking out my video today. And until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day.